What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a video on the brand new, it's about a couple weeks old. I've held off updating it, but the brand new Square Golf Launch Monitor GSPro connector. I have it up on the screen. I figured out how to get it up there, but there's a pretty big, massive, groundbreaking, in my opinion, feature that they added to it. So as you can maybe see on the projector over here, I have my target alignment up and my laser level. I did a video on that in the past. If you're curious about this, makes alignment much easier in my opinion. But if you can guess why that's up, is because they added a feature. So this has been about 2 weeks out now. The Square came out with a software update, a firmware update, and a GSPro connector update. I've held off on all three of those. I had to do the app update just to be able to target alignment about 2 weeks ago. So I did do that, but I held off on both the Square connector and the firmware just because I heard kind of some mixed reviews on it. But the video right before this, which you should have saw, I went ahead and I downloaded the newest connector and I updated the Square. So as of right now, we're 100% up to date, and I'm going to try this connector for the first time, the new feature that they added, which seems really cool, and we'll see if on the fly here for the very first time, we'll see what happens. But as you can see, I have my laser level here straight down the line. I don't suspect the Square is super out of alignment. I don't think I've nudged my shank tank, which is the only reason why it should slide. But sometimes out of nowhere, it gets a little bit out of alignment between me taking the heavy paver off and putting the Square in exactly how I orient it. But the laser level shooting right down the middle line that I have my offset on for GSPro. So I always come out, I put the Square, or not the Square, the laser level back here. It's up on a box of balls just to get it up off the mat a little bit. I shoot it right down the middle of the mat. There's an actual T-hole in this Country Club Elite mat straight down there. And then I do my best to put the alignment tool, the stick here, right down that green line so everything lines up. But let's go ahead and check out the new connector, which I didn't actually notice in the first go when I loaded it up, but they added the battery level, which is nice. So if you're a GSPro user like I am, it is nice knowing where you're at battery-wise. The old connector did not have that, but it doesn't look crazy different. So basically, the way you connect it is still the same. I load up GSPro first, let it load up to the home screen. It launches the Open API Connect, and then I then go ahead once that's loaded. Open up the Square connector. So it usually always automatically connects to GSPro. There's that green dot, and then usually first time coming out, you just have to scan for the Square, same as the old one, and then you would connect it. But so far, it looks a little bit different, but it's about the same. It has the battery level, but the main thing here, which I'm excited about, is now the settings tab. So they changed the advanced versus the standard, I think it was, the measurement mode. If you're using the TP5 Pix balls or the Square balls like I am, and you want the Square to actually pick up and measure the backspin and the side spin, you are going to want to be on this measurement tab. So just to double check, you can go back and forth right now on measurement, but if I click calculation, that's going to mean now it's using, as it says, it's basically estimating it. So it's estimating or calculating the spin using the ball's velocity, direction, and club trajectory. Basically the club data and the launch data it's getting. But to double check, I know Bogeyman Bill, it randomly switched them off. Now if we go back to home, it's showing down here. Current spin mode is calculation. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back, but just so you guys can double check sometimes if you want to make sure you're on the right one. So I'm back to measurement, and now if we go back here, hopefully this is coming through on your end. Now current spin mode, we're back to measurement, but the main point of this is they actually integrated the alignment now into the Square connector for GSPro, which is awesome. I'm going to be using this more often now. If I come out and I have like an important SGT round that I want to do, or maybe like an online match or something that I want to make sure the Square is perfect. Before, I've held off. I would usually target align and align the Square once every 2-3 weeks maybe. Basically, I would do it, and if I didn't nudge the shank tank or anything got moved around, usually it would be pretty good. But now they integrated into the Square connector. So before, I would have to go load up the Square software, align it, then go back over to GSPro and load the connector. We're going to see here, I'm on the range, if it'll let us do it on the fly. It's possible I may have to exit out of GSPro for this to work, but again, we're kind of doing this on the fly, and if you guys haven't done this, a kind of a good learning experience for all of us together here. So let's go ahead and see what happens here when we click target alignment. So this is cool. I don't know. Let me check if Is this showing up on your end? Okay, it is. So now like a separate little window popped up. It does usually take a second or two for it to pick up the alignment stick. I know some people have issues with it where the square can't read it. I think a common misconception is when you target align it, you want the alignment stick dead in front of the square versus having the more of the offset. If you guys know when you hit your shots, it would be back here. So kind of more of an L. The ball would be back here. But when you target alignment, you want it to be level with the square right in front of it. It is picking up the alignment stick, and it's giving us an option if we want to do left-handed or right-handed. Obviously, I'm a righty, so we're going to leave it there. And as I suspected, the square is already pretty good in alignment. That just comes down to when I put the square in the actual shank tank. Sometimes it's a fraction one way or the other, but I mean, left 0.1, I can move it a touch, which I'll show you. It should change it, but usually if I can get the square when it's bouncing back and forth between right 0.1 and left 0.1 or on 0, it moves around a little bit, but to me, that's pretty darn good. So we'll just move it just a touch, and this should get rid of that little bit of left bias, I think. But this is pretty cool that you can, oh, did I make it worse? Left 0.4, left 0.3. It's pretty cool that now you can do this on the fly. Like I'm on GSPro and I'm on the range. So like even mid-round, it seems like you'd be able to do this, which is pretty cool. All right, I guess we'll go slightly back. We'll see if that, whoa, now it's way out of alignment. What's going on here? It's still picking up the stick. Maybe I should just not have even touched it. That seems, I literally moved it as little as I possibly could. Now it seems like it's way, way, way off. I haven't found that the laser level messes with it, but I literally just rotated that as little as I possibly could, and we went from like almost perfect initially to now a little bit of left bias. Now it's like a degree out of alignment to the left. So I guess, I mean, this is part of it. I guess we'll mess with it. I wish there would be a little bit of an easier way for it to automatically align itself, but I get these things are very temperamental to where if you're hitting a putt, you do want it to be as straight as you possibly can. That get better or worse? All right, that's a little bit better. Now we're back down to left 0.3. I think a little bit more in that direction. Again, I try to get as close to 0 as I can. I'm not good enough for that to matter anyways, but I tweaked it just a touch more. This should be pretty darn close now. It bounces around a little bit, but we're still at left 0.4, left 0.5, left 0.4, maybe a touch more. I mean, hats off to the Square team for listening to the community and adding a feature like this to where now we can do this on the fly. Still a little bit, as you can tell, a little bit of a, takes you about 5 or 10 minutes if you really, really, really want to dial it in. I don't understand why I'm moving it in one direction and it's bouncing from pretty good and then it gets like substantially out of whack. All right, left 0.3. I think we're getting closer. Left 0.4. But to me, I just moved that. Like I've moved it a couple times now. So to me, to be back where it was initially as I'm rotating this, doesn't seem like that makes a ton of sense. All right, now we're going further the other way. Trial and error here, folks. Trial and error. Now I'm twisting it, kind of like opening it. This should, basically the main point of this is to see if it works. It does work, but now I'm kind of determined to get it at 0, 0. Now we're going the wrong way again. Left 0.1. Now we're going back the other way. Okay, now we're kind of back back where we started at left 0.3. Honestly, that's pretty darn good. I don't know how particular you guys are. I'm kind of over analytical on some of this stuff. Of like, I feel like if I'm gonna align it, I want it to be as perfect as I possibly can. And for me, I have like a 30-pound paver on top of my shank tank, so for me, it's not quite as easy just to like rotate it. I may be just pushing it one way or the other. So I try my best. I kind of have to get down here and crawl around a little bit to actually rotate the entire shank tank with the board underneath. All right, we're getting closer now. So this is the first time it showed up right. We're at right 0, right 0.1, right 0.2. That's pretty darn good. We'll see if it bounces back to 0. I went just a half a, like, I literally move it as little as I possibly can, but we'll see if we can just, for the sake of the video, get it to read as 0, 0. I want to touch back the other way. Left 0.1, left 0.2, right. So this is pretty close where it's bouncing back and forth between left and right. This is usually where I would leave it, so it's still a touch. It seems like it's settling a little bit to the right, but if I see it bouncing back and forth, left 1 and right 1, now we need to go back the other way. I don't know exactly how much more delicately I could possibly be twisting this thing. All right, now it got worse when it should have got better. So let's just, for the sake of it, we'll press OK. So now that's a line there. And now again, mid-round, maybe you kick it on accident, a ball hits it, maybe your shank tank isn't quite as heavy as mine. You want to go back into it. This should just find it again. Obviously, if you're hitting balls, you would remove that alignment stick. But it is pretty cool now that whether I'm on the course or on the range, I can kind of do this on the fly. And again, it took a couple seconds for it to find it. Now it's saying we're still left. Well, this has turned into more of a comedy of errors, apparently, with me of aligning my own launch monitor. All right, we're getting closer. We moved it the right direction this time. Now we're at 0.5, a little bit more. We will get it to where I want it, and I'm happy with it. I promise you that. Left 0.5. Honestly, again, this is pretty good, but left 0.3, left 0.5. Left 0.2. We're almost there. Again, not the most action-packed, but again, the main feature, what I'm showcasing here, is the fact that they included this alignment in the square connector, which is nice for GSPro users like myself. All right, come on, just bounce back and forth between left 0.1 and right 0.1. Left 0.2. So just for good measure, that's the closest we've been so far. Pretty much exactly. I've done all this video, and we're basically right where we started from. I should have just never moved it in the first place, but we're at left 0.1. We'll do it for the third and final time. We'll see if we can actually get it on 0. I just think I need to move it maybe just one more touch in that direction. It should be pretty good. Let's see what it picks it up on initially here. This time, it's not finding it. So I've seen this happen before in the actual Square app. Again, kind of a good on-the-fly learning lesson. If this happens, which it has for me, I just press cancel. If I go back into it, maybe 2 or 3 times, it should pick up on it. All right, still not finding it. We'll click it again. Maybe we'll go home first. Still doesn't want to find it. Maybe we'll press cancel. We'll put a ball in the zone. Maybe that'll trick it. So you hear the ding, it locked on. We'll remove the ball. Now it blinked. Maybe now we'll try the alignment again. Well, why it worked initially and now it didn't, I don't know if it like times itself out to where I did it so many times in and out. Maybe we'll try OK instead. Change maybe the calculation mode, kind of trick it. Target alignment. I mean, you guys seen I haven't. All right, just blink that time. Maybe this will go now. I haven't moved the stick at all, so there it goes. I had a feeling maybe it times itself out. I saw that last time I clicked it, it blinked. The 6 red lights in the middle of the square actually blinked. So now it's looking for it. Maybe that will be a recurring thing where you have to maybe go back in and go back out. But we're pretty much right back where we were. Left 0.2, left 0.1, left 0.3. I'm going to move it just a touch more. We'll probably now start getting right biased. But at this point, the video has gone on long enough to where I'm determined, like I said, to get it at to bounce back and forth. And I think we did it. So now this is right where I like to have it. It's bouncing back and forth. We just hit 0 for the first time. Left 0.1. It'll bounce around a little bit. Left 0.1 and it'll settle. But left 0, ideally I would like to see it back when I just moved it again to right. There we go. Right 0.1, left 0.1. To me, that's as straight as you can possibly get it. And I don't know if it matters when you settle on it. I try to click it quick right when it's on 0. So if we get 0, I'm going to press OK real quick. Right 0.1, there we go. So now we're locked in, we're aligned. I know that was a little bit of a trial and error. You say, you may be thinking to yourself, all right, that wasn't very easy. But compared to what we used to have to do, go over to the Square app, align it, then go back over to GSPro. Now, mid-round, mid-driving range sessions, maybe you're practicing and saying, maybe my putts are coming off a little bit more to the left or more to the right than it should be. You can just plop that alignment stick down. If you have the laser, it'll make it nice and easy. Now, we're dialed in to where I would be. And again, a little bit of a tedious process still, no matter what you do. I think a lot of the side-by-side units, they're about the same to where you put the stick down and it's kind of a guessing game of where you're measuring. If I was way out of alignment, I would be changing my offset. But right now, the laser is going directly through the middle line. I know I still have the window capture up, so this is going to block out part of what shows on GSPro. But just to show you guys that we did that on the fly, I'm going to hit a shot, and we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. That was off the heel, so launched right. Not a particularly good shot. That went 93 yards. Let's see if we can draw one. There we go. 105 carry, we drew it, swung a little bit more at it. So I just did a test on the new firmware update. It didn't seem like anything is messed with it now, messing with the target alignment in the connector, but really, really cool feature. Again, on my wish list, there's pretty minimal things now. At this point, the Square team has done a really good job updating stuff. The TP5 integration was massive, so the Square can actually read the side spin. And to me, it's just down now, too, like I've been saying for months. A lot of people have been saying they just need to add club head speed, and the unit will be pretty darn perfect for the price point. I'm still under the impression it's the best value in simulator golf for $700 for how good it is, how accurate it is, how well it works. Pretty darn good, and I have very minimal complaints altogether. I mentioned it last time, and maybe some of the Square people may be seeing this, hopefully. What I've been noticing as of late, it's been getting a little more prevalent as of late. I've been getting some tee reads, meaning I switched over from white tees to black tees. When I put the ball down, when I hit driver, it happens maybe 1 out of every 20 or 30 tee shots, but I put the ball down, the Square locks on, and when I go and hit driver, especially, it's really frustrating for like tournament rounds where every stroke matters. I go and hit the ball, and instead of the Square locking onto the ball and reading the ball, it reads the tee that goes flying, so it goes like 10 or 15 yards, and it picks up like 30 miles an hour on the tee instead of locking onto the ball. I'm hoping maybe the connector, I don't know if that's, I would assume that's like a firmware update issue. I'm hoping that now. I just did that like 30 minutes ago. I'm hoping maybe the new firmware will fix some of that. Maybe it was a connector. Maybe that will fix it. I'll have to play some more rounds and play like full 18 holes to see if that got changed and got corrected. But really, it's just, I mentioned that because really it's just the tee read issue and then club head speed. That's all really Square needs to do. And I would think going forward, for how good it's been and how good it currently is right now, I don't think they need to do any groundbreaking updates like I've been saying. Like if they just continuously, maybe every month or two, just fine-tune things a little bit, I don't think they need to do a complete overhaul by any means. So everything seems really good. Backspin seems good. Distances seem good. Really cool that they added the target alignment. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, a little bit of a long-winded demonstration, especially with me moving my shank tank back and forth as little as possible. But we did, in fact, align it. Basically as close as I possibly could to dead center. So I'd be comfortable now going playing like an SGT round and knowing that I turned this laser off, obviously, but knowing that my dead straight line when I'm hitting a putt, if I actually hit it well, it's going to be pretty darn close to what my HLA wants to be for a dead straight putt. And that one launched 0.3 to the right, which is the main thing. And then obviously if you're super out of alignment, it's going to start messing with your ball flight numbers, your club path numbers, mainly your putts and short game. But you want to make sure if you're playing any kind of competitive rounds or like an important online match or what have you, that your Square is updated and as aligned as best as you can possibly do. So really cool. Shout out to the Square team for integrating both the battery percentage and the target alignment now in the connector. So makes life a little bit easier. Again, that process, not the simplest in the world if you're kind of precise like I am, trying to get it exactly at 0-0. But maybe if you're a higher handicap player, if you just want to be like within like 0.4, 0.5 a degree, and you say that's not going to matter anyways, you just plop it down and kind of eyeball it and get it as close as you can. But to me, I'm happy. I think it's a worthwhile update. Recommend you guys doing it. I haven't had any disconnects. Granted, I just did it. But we'll have to see. Maybe if I experience anything crazy out of the ordinary, I'll do an update video. But to me, I give it the stamp of approval. Really cool update. And this has been long enough, so I'm going to wrap this up. Shout out to the members. Appreciate you guys watching. And like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.